And mind you, the boyfriend thing happened before. She had a boyfriend when I hooked up with her future boyfriend, past boyfriend.
It's the first time you've addressed the camera directly.
And when we did the Europe trip.
Yeah, let's talk about that.
Well, the Europe trip. The Europe trip.
Hi, I'm Sterling. Welcome to my channel. It's all about the exploratory, and I'm really big on sharing stories. Subscribe for good vibes!
I love to tell stories about my global travels because I've been so many places and I've learned so many things, mostly through making huge mistakes that I tell you about on this channel. The Ladies Guide to Traveling Solo, Volume 1, available for you in the comment box down below, and I'll tell you more about that at the end of the video.
That was fun. It was like 4 weeks, 3 weeks.
Katiana and I went together to Europe the first time that either of us traveled out of the country without our parents, I believe, with a group of about, what, 17 of us? 12? Somewhere between 12 and 17 of our peers when we were high school age over the summer, and we went on a trip to Italy and Greece, and it was amazing! And we would stay 1 to 3 days in certain cities, and we took buses everywhere, and we took a ferry across the Mediterranean to get from Italy to Greece, and we got to cruise around the islands, and it was fantastic! Especially because
We were
as
18. I mean,
I wasn't.
she couldn't legally drink, but she did.
I could legally drink. It was a 16. 16 was the age.
18. But it was fun. They didn't card us.
We got into every club and every bar, and everyone served us alcohol, so regardless of what the legal age was, it was
Maybe
obviously
16,
something
yeah.
that happened.
We don't care.
Alcohol isn't taboo in Europe in the same way as it is here. It's much more relaxed, and therefore they have a lot less weird, traumatic experiences culturally that happen around alcohol. There's less drunk driving accidents, there's less people overdosing on alcohol and dying. It's interesting because they're introduced to alcohol in a different way at a younger age, so we were able to benefit from that as teenagers, and we had an amazing time. We would get served wine with dinner, we could go out dancing, and there was a big group of us, so it was safe most of the time. I mean, we didn't have any directly awkward or unsafe experiences. We were lucky, and we had naivety on our side, but it was fantastic.
It was fun. I'm actually remembering it now.
Yeah! What made you want to go on the Europe trip?
Well, I want to go to Spain, but he was like,
I want to go to Spain this year. We went to Italy or Greece.
I was like, okay, that's fine.
Close enough.
I'll do it, and it was great.
And you wanted to go to Spain because your great-grandparents are from Spain?
Well, even though my grandmother's Cuban, I grew up thinking I was Spanish.
Because she grew up thinking she was Spanish.
On the East Coast, they do say you're Spanish. They don't say Latino so much. It's a West Coast thing.
Right, but if
These-
everyone from Latin America and South America is Spanish, then that obviously isn't a reference to being from Spain.
Right. It depends on what language you're speaking. I mean, they would never say I'm Spanish in Spanish, but in English, if you're on the East Coast,
You're a Spanish mommy.
you're a Spanish girl. Yeah.
Mhm.
Either you're like black and Dominican, or like white or Puerto Rican.
It makes me think of West Side Story. And that Santana song.
Growing up in Spanish Harlem, living a life just like a movie star. Maria, Maria.
And then I don't know the next part they say. I always make it up.
East LA.
East LA! I imagine this happening on the East Coast. Because I always thought of West Side Story.
It's a Carlos Santana song.
So we went to Europe, and it was awesome. I sustained a concussion on the couch the first night we were outside of Rome, and they made me sleep on the couch by myself. Well, they all went and slept in the bedroom even though I had a concussion because I was jumping on the couch.
And you fell?
And I was jumping on the couch, and I dropped on my butt, like to do a seat drop like you do on trampolines. I dropped on my butt, and when I did, I went, mow, 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 mow.
And
I hit my head on the arm of the couch or the table next to it or something, and just saw stars and was like, wow.
yeah, that trip was really fun.
Yeah, all sorts of people on that trip with us.
Yeah, that was fun. You were on the phone a lot.
Well, not really, because I couldn't afford to be on the phone a lot, but I used the phone.
A lot. You were absent some of the time. Not all the
But
time.
that wasn't because I was on the phone, it was because I didn't want to go out drinking with you guys all the time because I had a manipulative boyfriend that would get upset with me.
Right.
But I wasn't on the phone, I just wasn't going out getting drunk.
I
remember you on the phone for hours. Oh, I definitely was on the phone for hours. That cost so much money. I was on the phone for 10 minutes at a time.
Sure, whatever. You remember it like that. In my
It's true, because I manipulated my stepmother to get the phone bill. Like, she got me a phone card, and I set it so that it would automatically re-bill, so that it wasn't a $25 phone card. It was no matter how much I used the phone, it would recharge it. So she gave me the bill when I got home. She was like, so I didn't know this was happening.
How
And
much
she
was
gave me the bill. $250, and it was 15 cents a minute. Or maybe it was 5 cents a
That's a
minute.
lot of talking. That's a lot of money.
Yeah, it's a lot of money. It's
I
not actually
think-
much time.
Right. In my mind, in what happened, you definitely missed out on parts of the trip because you had a boyfriend. Which actually is really interesting to think about how that shaped my view of men. Because...
Ooh.
Right, because I didn't really have a boyfriend. I mean, I tried to date. I just really wasn't that attracted to anybody that we grew up around.
Except the boyfriend that I had,
The boyfriend...
that I was spending all the time on the phone with.
Right.
So that
That-
might have part of the weight to the situation.
I mean, no, it wasn't about that guy. It was about my friend being taken by a guy. Could have been any guy.
Right.
Right. And mind you, the boyfriend thing happened before. She had a boyfriend when I hooked up with her future boyfriend, past boyfriend.
First
Just to
time
put
you've
it that
addressed
way.
the camera directly in this entire
Just to
conversation.
make it-
Excuse me, person who I'm gonna now
Just
acknowledge
to
is
make
there
that
on the other
clear.
kind.
I didn't go after her boyfriend. The boyfriend, it was a previous
I
experience.
definitely did not mean to insinuate that at any point she went after my
It was
boyfriend.
a previous
Just that
experience.
out of the few people in our small town, he was one of the only
Oh, duh, it was cute.
viable options.
Anyway, I always saw my friends ditching their friends for their boyfriends, and I never wanted to be that girl. So I think for many
Intentionally
years,
went all the other way.
I just didn't date men for a long time.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Well, they also didn't want to date me, so it wasn't like a...
That's not true.
That's very true.
That's how you felt.
That is...
I personally had multiple men specifically tell me that you were the kind of girl to be a girlfriend. They would rank them. I had a game where these guys, we would
Then
sit
no
down
one tried to be
and
my
they would
girl-
rank because they
people
were
should-
afraid of you.
People, yeah, and that's apparently a thing.
But being afraid of you is not the same as not wanting to date you. Those are two different things.
Well, trying to be my partner I've never seen that. People have tried to hook up with me. That's definitely more
That's how you got to, or at least that's my awareness level. Hooking up is how you got to figure out that someone wanted to be your partner.
Yeah, I get that.
When we were in Europe, I even had our chaperone come up to me and ask me why I was on the bandwagon and not drinking with the other girls as much as they were drinking. Which was because I had a boyfriend and I wanted him to feel like I was being faithful, I guess. That was the
Yeah.
motivation there. Which is interesting because
He
in
wasn't.
retrospect, he most certainly was not.
No. Not at all. So, are boys worth it? Probably not.
That's not where I was trying to go with this story at all.
I mean, at
And
the
back to
end
the
of
writing
the
sad
day,
love songs.
la, la, la. The other day I was listening to the radio, having issues with my boyfriend. We weren't listening to the radio, we were listening to a comedy show. The guy brought up the fact that men are always very quick to leave their women because they always know there's somebody else they could date.
Ooh.
Oh yeah.
Do you think that's true?
Yep.
Ooh.
Guys are so
That
full of themselves that they
Doesn't feel
know.
good for you guys.
No, it doesn't.
Oh.
So that, and I was already like hiding some tears, like just thinking about stuff. And, I'm like, "Ugh." And all of a sudden I hear that guy say that, and I'm like, oh.
Validation in front of the boyfriend of
And
the
he
turbulent
switches
sad
it.
songs.
He switches it.
So he noticed it too, and
Yeah.
also felt awkward and felt the need to change the channel.
Mm-hmm.
Ow. Ow. Hmm.
Mm-hmm. Yep. real. Also, we're trained to fill that role as a woman.
What role?
Being heartbroken by a man. We're already prepared.
Because that's what we're fed by pop culture and the songs and the
Yeah.
stories that we're told. The stories that we're told are the damsel in distress and the woman who gets left at the altar and the
Yeah.
heartbreak, constant heartbreak.
Pretty much.
So is that why I put up with the manipulative, emotionally abusive boyfriend as a young teenager? Because that was the story that I was imagining I needed to recreate because of all of my childhood fairy tales? Possibility. Some dark shit.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
The distant. Under the little table to your left in your cave.
She's just like, ugh. Like, yeah, no, girl, it makes me shudder too.
Yeah, she's
Because I couldn't live with my babies.
Yeah, I know.
my dog. And you lived up the street from Manu Chao, right?
Yeah.
I remember
Well,
you
that
telling
was
me
like
that.
the time of
King of the Bongo.
well, yeah. That music really inspired me, but that also drove me to find the root of it. And I became obsessed with Cuban music and everything Cuban.
And was that consciously like a desire to connect with your heritage?
Yeah, after my grandma died.
Mm-hmm.
And I came back from Spain. And I was
So this is a part of me, and I have to like know about it.
And so I made a conscious effort to read books and listen to more music and learn things, and that sparked my curiosity of like,
I wonder what music sounds like in Venezuela.
or like,
Ooh, what does music sound? Because my grandfather was Colombian, but I never met him. And so I'm like, what does Colombian music sound like?
and so I started to go to the library. When I went to state, I remember looking for this particular CD. I remember going to the library
I want to learn the music of all of Latin America.
because I was so into learning Cuban music and how much I learned about Cuba through the music. I also wanted to suddenly know about all of Latin America, which was weird. And I mean, I kind of at that point already knew what Peruvian music sounded like and Mexican music more or less because I grew up around it a little bit. I remember going to the library because that's where I got a lot of my information. I would get movies and music, and I remember looking up Okay, I just went through countries, so I started writing countries
And for any of you that are interested in learning more about traveling solo, how to do it safe, and the lessons that I've learned through trial and a lot of error, check out the link in the description box down below where I share my tips and tricks for traveling solo.
Just like America had Bob Dylan, Latin America had their versions, and they called it Canción Nueva, which is like new song, and it was usually like a person with a guitar. A lot of regions became independent together, and this CD came up, and it was called Songs of Venezuela by an artist called Soledad Bravo, who came about during the time of all the revolutions in South America that happened. So anywhere from like the 50s to mid-70s.
thanks for making space in your brain for this video. Hit the thumbs up, share with someone you care for, subscribe for good vibes, ring my bell to be notified every time I upload a new video. Leave a comment down below. You can come find me on social